Today we're going to talk about one of the major components in your home, ductwork. This is a perfect example of preparing your home for the ductwork in the design phase. You see how we have 2x6 walls all throughout the house. This wall is carrying the ductwork and the heat to all the second floor. You'll see on a 2x4 wall, it's very limited to what you can put in. This is a 4-inch duct. What happens is a little bit of pressure comes on it, and you're still able to get 4 inches through to the second floor. There's my example. 2x6 wall, 2x6 wall, 2x6 wall, 2x6 wall. All kinds of room for ductwork. You'll see how we do open web joists here on this application. That's because we don't want to have to drill holes through everywhere on the joist. This house is a more complicated design, so what we've done is we've used the open web joist so that we can run pipes anywhere through the house. We're not going to be building bulkheads or trying to make things work after the fact. One of the biggest pain in the necks when it comes to doing all your venting is the kitchen hood fan. We do chimney fans a lot, so this has to be precisely exactly where that fan's going. You've got ½ inch of play on each side, which is not a lot of room. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull those screws and I'm actually gonna just shove it up into the cavity. We're gonna just drywall through here, and then when the kitchen goes in, the hood fan comes, I'm gonna mark dead center, make the cut, and pull that line through. Then you've got no problems, nothing to worry about.
With new construction, we always start from the top to the bottom.
Okay, so Joe, when you're talking about going from the top to the bottom, I'm assuming you're talking about the cold air. Why don't you explain this, how this works?
So our main guy, which is the guy with the chainsaw, cutting the holes. They start with cutting the holes, and then another guy comes behind them, put the return air strips. They all install those return air strips also to keep the debris away from the boots if somebody kicking any construction debris. And then you have a guy below starting with the boots and the piping.
So at the end, when you see the finished grill, now you can see what's behind that.
Also for exhausting outside, it's very important to have insulated flex on the rigid pipe, which is example, we have a dryer in here going in the attic. So you want to make sure it's insulated in the attic all the way, and also the first 4 feet inside the wall to keep the moisture, which is cold air and warm air is going to create moisture, and then you'll have damage in the drywall when it's finishing. So keep the humidity basically controlled. Talk about the supply air. When we install the boots, we basically protect the supply air with a screen to keep the debris, also the construction debris, out. So before when we're doing the finishing, we go inside. My guy goes around the house, clean the boots, vacuum the ductwork, and then they install the grills. So now you don't have any problem blocking this pipe during the construction, like 2x4 or any garbage basically going in.
Because everybody's heard those horror stories on finding wrappers from sandwiches and all that sort of stuff stuck in the ductwork. You don't get that in the Greenmark homes, because we got guys like Martino taking care of that for us.
My installer, I got trust my installers, which is this. You see the crimp end on this side? That's a return air automatically. That's a standard practice for us. That's how we do it. And for the supply air, when the guy's in the basement working on it, you see the smooth edge on the pipe here? That's a supply air. So the basement installer, where he's reading the plan and he's looking at it, he's gonna know that's the supply and that's the return air, and it's matching up the plan. And that's how we basically mark it.
And by doing things like that, you're limiting mistakes, and that's what it's all about. So now, Joe, why don't you walk us through the furnace and the different parts of the furnace coming out?
Okay, so we talked about the cutting the furnace for the return air boot, setting up the plenum. That's part of the plenum, the supply air. And then this is the plenum takeoff. And you have a riser, and this is your pair pans here, we call it. It's side and turning. So you have a pair pans here, splitting. You're gonna have go down this way and the branch this way. And also when they set the rectangular ductwork, you see the bracket here sitting 1 inch from the joist. You have to have the clearance on the supply air. For the return air, you sit it tight. It sits tight on the joist. So right now, Josh is sampling the ductwork, which is get shipped to the site prefab or pre-made. You just have to snap it together, and that's what he's doing right now. Prepping the ductwork. As you see, when it's snapped on, it's not gonna come apart. It's snapped, that's it. You can't take it apart.
Okay, Joe, so why don't you tell us about how planning is a really important part of the ductwork system?
The preparation for the basement is very important. Clean basement and also communicating with the framers. Like example, this wall here has been cut down to the height we need. So my guys that's not coming here and start chopping walls and doing the job twice. You want to do it once, you want to do it clean. And that's preparation. That's very important.
That makes everybody's life better, mine included. If that wall's not like that, what has to happen is they have to chop all those studs down, just basically push them over and put their ductwork through, and then the framer's got to come in and deal with the mess later. Prep work at Greenmark Builders is the most important part, and that's why our sites are clean, tidy, and very efficient. So thanks, Joe, for walking us through the ductwork in our new home.
My pleasure, Mark.
Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and we'll see you next time on Greenmark Builders TV. I see Joe's got the old Movember going on.
Thanks, Mark.